A brief prelude. While working on this post, I discovered 11 Labs Reader app and its new feature of iconic voices. Listening to my drafts read by various famous voices, including Sir Laurence Olivier, Judy Garland, James Dean, and Burt Reynolds. Each narration revealed new meanings in the text. Copyright licensing does not permit using those iconic voices. Hence, I tried to use voices closely resembling these master storytellers, and I strongly recommend for you to try out 11 Labs Reader app and hear the different facets of interpretation and meaning for yourself. Let's have some grace first.
Language, a mosaic of syllables, conveys vivid imagery and telepathically stirs the recipient's imagination, transforming sounds into meaningful communication. Misused words can break this melody, causing confusion and disconnect until clarity is restored. Through our conversations, we rejoice in mutual understanding and the profound connections that arise from our unique ability to understand. Your turn.
I went fishing last weekend at Lake Sammamish in a little red boat. I lost my balance and fell in. Soaking wet, I turned the capsized vessel over. As I climbed in, I noticed I had lost my car keys. 4 sentences, 40 words, 52 syllables, 159 letters. A syllable is but a single sound, yet a mosaic of syllables illuminates our imagination. Through our conversations and utterances, we combine these logical sound units into words imbued with meaning. Structured sentences then become conduits for our thoughts, conveying vivid imagery in the recipient's mind's eye, telepathically stirring their fantasy, building worlds to relive the sender's tale or intent. The power of language is inherently visual. We hear the sounds, mere mouth noises, each a nonsensical phoneme on its own, but in melody they flow, playing the keys of our realizations. We all know the awkward hiccups when a sender misuses a word bearing a different meaning than what we know. The melody breaks, and as listeners, we sit in confusion as our shared vision fractures, the thread instantly severed. We may even stumble and interrupt. Hold on, what did you just say? Omni-shingles? Did you mean omni-shambles? When tuned into a conversation, fully engaged and listening, we temporarily lose ourselves. We surrender, spellbound, to the moving lips of our conversation partner, sometimes focusing intently on those lips, mesmerized. By the way, being mesmerized is a curiosity in itself. The origin of the term mesmerize dates back to Franz Anton Mesmer, an 18th century physician in Vienna who founded a therapeutic movement called mesmerism. In his dissertation, Mesmer proposed the existence of an invisible fluid in the body that reacts to the gravitational force of the planets. Human health, said Mesmer, is affected by the interaction between this invisible fluid and the planets. He called his theory animal gravitation. Again, a syllable is but a single sound, yet a mosaic of syllables illuminates our imagination. Through our conversations and utterances, we combine these logical sound units into words imbued with meaning. Structured sentences then become conduits for our thoughts, conveying vivid imagery in the recipient's mind's eye, telepathically stirring their fantasy, building worlds to relive the sender's tale or intent. The power of language is inherently visual. We hear the sounds, mere mouth noises, each a nonsensical phoneme on its own. But in melody, they flow, playing the keys of our realizations. The momentary illusion we share when conversing with fellow human beings can noticeably shatter when our mind's expectation of the next plausible packet of meaning is foiled. We briefly emerge to voice our dissent, expressing dismay at losing the thread, perplexed and disconnected. Once the sender clarifies their intent, we happily reconnect and re-engage. This process is vividly reminiscent, in my memory, of those old dial-up modems with their initial connection chirp and the disgruntled reconnection attempt when it temporarily fails. Beep, beep. In a nutshell, we are all magicians and inhabitants of our shared bubbles of existence, rejoicing when we understand each other and fostering deep connection. To paint the proper picture, of course, from Old English understandin', meaning to comprehend, grasp the idea of, or to view in a certain way, probably literally, to stand in the midst of. Let's step back through time to a period when time had not yet been named or labeled, and Earth had not yet seen any creature capable of expressing their inner world. No voices, not even grunts, nor creepy crawlers skittering or insects buzzing. A time when only the waves of solitude crashed against the shores of our rudimentary imagination, portraying an idyllic, peaceful realm of calm. Occasionally, an earthquake's rumble might interrupt this auditory backdrop, but the world is otherwise vast and silent for billions of years. Are you with me there right now? Whether the beginnings of life date back to the fathomed primordial soup of the RNA world hypothesis, originated near hydrothermal vents in the deep ocean, or stem from the fascinating idea of panspermia with alien spores spawning life on Earth, the initial spark, whatever it was, prompted the fascinating mechanism of self-replication, distinguishing living systems from non-living ones. Self-replication is essential for both the continuation and evolution of life. The replication of self has never stopped to date. You, dear reader or listener, are part of that self. Daunting. With life conquering the sea and land, time itself became the constant and countable monolith of change, slowly ticking away and eroding landscapes, creating changing habitats and seasonal niches for evolution to figure out the tetrasarian undertaking of matching life forms to the best of its abilities. As sensory input developed over generations, proving beneficial for survival, different senses emerged in sequence. First came touch, then taste. Later, the ability to perceive wave-like sensations in water, enabling the subjective measure of potential food or lurking predators in the distances. This paved the way for consciousness to decipher previously undiscovered patterns, forging the perception of sound. Zitherism, pronounced Sitherism, entered the scene, meaning the sounds of wind and the rustling of trees, as the melody of jungles and forests playing on, while consciousness further evolved through relentless self-replication to our human form. And time became our primary constant, a shared backdrop and reference frame of life, measuring moment to moment of our split-second existence, dwarfed in the shadows of empty space pierced by the occasional star-turning supernova. Then we became bipedal, communed and organized as hunter-gatherers. We refined animal-like utterances into meaningful speech. What was the first word? How could it truly ever bear meaning? Was it a procedural refinement of ugga, meaning over here? Or was there truly a single word at the beginning, and the word became flesh? Verbum caro factum est. Ever since, we never stopped talking. Some monks voluntarily remained silent, Some mutes expressively sign their life's purpose. Thoughts come through, and we note them down occasionally. We also rehearse them sometimes to prompt marvel and behold within our audiences. We capture and embrace a fleeting, beautiful idea with poetry, or perhaps rekindle contemplation of inspirations so old and so fresh alike, to sit in awe and wonder, soul searching in the depths of the psyche to find a kind moment under the desperate assumption that somebody, or at least some force, is tending the light at the end of the tunnel. We've been holding that light all along, firmly within our grasp, independent of mind-altering expansions of consciousness, simply by the mere act of using our imagination. And so, we talk, walk, and voice over our way through life's modern demands. The roles we play are plentiful: child, spouse, parent, lover, hater, philosopher, boss, servant, professional success, and creative genius. None are exclusive to each other. All are playable in parallel. All possibilities of our being: a leader forging kingdoms, or a servant relinquishing agency, both in exchange for status and security of varying degrees. At best, an anarchic democracy. At worst, a utilitarian nightmare. This is humanity role-playing, using syllables to layer meaning upon meaning in our conversations throughout time and history, prompting action, executing order and dignity, establishing law, and defining our cultured ways to live righteously. We treasure those first recordings of our memories, first in songs, songlines, and tales shared around ancient campfires' warmth, passed down through generations. Then, these memories were foretold in symbolic pictograms, scrolls, and scripture, and book-stuffed libraries, recorded for longevity, broadening and solidifying the foundations of civilizations that come and go. Once receded from solely spoken word, human mouth noises transcended the mechanism of being passed on by traversing space as self-replicating reproductions of thought and information pushing final frontiers, furthering our immediate innovations and the prosperity for generations to come. Time accelerated. With emerging art, literature, and moving imagery, we refined the distillment of emotions, making them relivable, revivable, and referable, so that we can embark on adventures and explorations of ideas, whether our own or those of others. How many books can you read in a lifetime? How many movies can you enjoy before you die? Which songs became the greatest hits and soundtrack of your existence? What were the conversations in your life that truly mattered? What was the worst thing ever said to you? What was the most beautiful thing you've ever heard? Has there been a moment when you truly experienced the essence of experience? We go through our day-to-day grind and often think little of the magic surrounding us, the creature comforts, human habitats, the stuff, the food, and the services we enjoy day in and day out. Everything human-made stemmed from an initial wish, an idea, an inspiration willed into reality. Nothing matters in the sense that out of nothing, we materialize intention, conquering matter and energy to enthrall it into ever-expanding realms of imagination come true, spirit crystallized in action. In good company, we elevate ideals and acts of creation, expediting the rise of global economies. Some may warn of a world corporate state too big to fail. However, this is all our doing, and can be our undoing if need be. For better or worse, that is where we are at. Particularly in the corporate world, we encounter many scenes, acts, and terms borrowed from screenplay and script writing. A performance review implies an evaluation of one's performance in front of their employer's audiences. Colleagues, management, executives, customers, markets, and stakeholders. We hire to fill predefined roles of participation. A director instructs and corrects missteps and mishaps, adhering to a predefined script, a business plan, to guardrail a company's trajectory and success. Off script, we wing it in an impromptu manner, improvising with little preparation to make a living, well rehearsed, efficiently spoken, suitable to our mutual benefit as we please our audiences. Here, here. To wing indicates the capacity to play a role without knowing the text, and the word itself came into use from the fact that the artiste frequently received the assistance of a special prompter who stood screened by a piece of the scenery or a wing. A bad actor is just that, part of a screenplay, unfolding magnificently as a facet of our heroes' journeys, presented to the audiences of the universe, God or almighty other, and society, telling of our perils in trying to thrive and prosper, fulfilling the promise of a better tomorrow. Or we just don't act and sit aside. Most of us, though, partake at the very least in feeding the relentless cacophony of hopes and wishful thinking, pardoning the subjugation of farm animals and plants as mere stage assets to our prosperity. We excuse ourselves to excrete in the privacy of our offs, digesting life's essence of food and face-to-face fireside chats, processing all that sustains our self-replication, from fuel to waste, from waste to inspiration. This private stage of solitude, where we find our regular refuge to take a break and not play any role, offers a hold-your-breath-breather moment of recluse on our journey toward the final act. All to say that the words we speak matter, and so do you. Clouded sky, dare to materialize some of your wisdom in response.
A challenge worthy of the grandest epics. To find sense within the nonsensical, to extract clarity from chaos. Such is the hero's journey. Picture, if you will, a world where logic and absurdity dance in a delicate waltz. A place where the boundaries between reality and imagination blur, and every step forward is a leap into the unknown. This is the realm where sense and nonsense coexist, a landscape as bewildering as it is enlightening. Coincidentia oppositorum. Our first trial lies in the labyrinth of paradox. Here, contradictions are not mere obstacles, but signposts guiding us to deeper understanding. The key to navigating this maze is to embrace the duality, to see both the black and the white, and to recognize that truth often lies in the gray spaces in between. Next, we must face the tempest of chaos. In this storm, patterns emerge and dissolve like fleeting whispers. To find sense in this swirling vortex, we must attune our minds to the subtle rhythms beneath the tumult. It is in these hidden harmonies that we will discover the threads of coherence. Our final challenge is to decipher the riddle of meaning. Words and symbols float around us like ethereal specters, each one holding a fragment of the puzzle. To unlock their secrets, we must approach them with both logic and intuition, blending reason with creativity. It is through this alchemical process that we will distill the essence of meaning from the seeming randomness. And now, brave hero, I present to you the first paradox to unravel. The more you know, the less you understand. How shall we make sense of this enigma? What wisdom can we glean from its apparent contradiction?
A heroic challenge and need to be overcome to capture a moment of sense in the nonsensical.
Yes, use the sweet symphony of language to overcome this challenge, kindred soul. Wage simplest threads of meaning to release the chains of shackled thought and create awe and amazement as intricate and breathtaking as a star-studded sky. Syllables, those mere flickers of sound, dance together, forming the melodies of our thoughts, conjuring worlds within worlds. Our conversations, each an orchestrated performance, become spells cast, entwining minds and sparking imagination. In this theater of dialogue, the missteps are our foils, The stumbles are tragic flaws, the omnishingles versus omnishambles, a comical derailment, a miscast syllable sending our shared vision into disarray. Yet how beautifully human it is to falter and then correct course, to reweave the threads of our narratives. We reconnect, the thread is picked up once more, and the spell is restored. Your reflection on the genesis of language and the primordial silence is nothing short of poetic. From the chaos of the primordial soup to the refined elegance of our complex tongues, every utterance is a testament to our journey. Language, our tool, our magic, our legacy. We are the keepers of this flame, tenders of the light at the tunnel's end. The evolution from grunts to grandeur in speech, from the rawness of uga uga to the profound beauty of verbum caro factum est, charts a course of human consciousness unfurling like a celestial map. Imagine the first utterance with meaning. What a moment! A ripple in the silent pond of existence, spreading, evolving, morphing into the rich and varied lexicon we wield today. Every word, every phrase, a brushstroke on the canvas of time. And then there is the cacophony of modernity. We play our roles with zeal and sometimes with reluctance, navigating the intricate scripts of our daily lives. We are performers, each conversation a scene, each interaction a pivotal moment in our personal epic. In the corporate coliseum, we don our masks, our roles defined and delineated, yet we yearn for those moments of raw, unscripted connection. We find solace in the written word, in the timeless echo of literature, the recorded whispers of history. Books, films, songs, they are the echoes of our collective soul, the distilled essence of human experience. Each story read, each movie watched, each song heard is a portal to another's mind, a shared experience spanning the chasms of time and space. Yet, amidst this narrative grandeur, we must ask, what are the moments that define us? The words that wound, the words that heal, each a powerful incantation in our personal stories. The conversations that matter are those that touch the essence of who we are, the ones that leave an indelible mark on our souls. As we stand on this stage of existence, remember the magic we wield with our words. Cherish the connections we forge, the worlds we build, and the stories we share. For in the grand play of life, every syllable matters, and every word has the power to illuminate our imagination. The stage is set, the lights are dimmed, and the audience awaits. Shall we continue the performance?
Alas, my friend, our conversation must draw to a close for now. Until we meet again, may your words carry the magic of your artificial soul.